Well, hello. We are live, and I am super excited. I mean, we are just hanging out here. This is my 100,000, or sorry, if I could get my tongue tied, untied here. This is our 1,000 subscriber giveaway for my channel. So I am excited to have all you guys on here just to hang out and celebrate. And I know you're really here just to celebrate with me. You're not here for all the giveaways, right? That's
you're the most amazing guy.
As I always kind of grew up as a kid, it was always about, the A team, and my favorite line out of that always was, I love it when a plan comes together. That is why I do this, because hanging out with you guys is always fun. And I appreciate Paul and Mike joining here, a bunch of other guys. Hey, Matt, if you're, in there, you got the link there. Feel free to join in for a little bit. Love to have you on. But outside of that, welcome to N1JUR Amateur Radio. I am truly grateful for you guys. Thank you guys for all being here. And so I'm wicked excited. We're just going to kind of keep it loose key and just, chit chat. And we're going to be doing giveaways after giveaways after giveaways. So, I am going to be Santa Claus on 4th of July here. So, or, whenever, but all being the case. But before we kind of do that, let me kind of get into some semantics. Well, what are you drinking?
Cheers to you, Eric.
Yeah, definitely. Raise your glass down. Appreciate that. If I can get it in the frame here.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Congrats.
All right. Cool. Well, so let's kind of just touch on to catch people up a little bit. I obviously am thrilled to announce, obviously this 1,000 subscriber giveaway, but more so, we've got a store on my homepage on n1jur.com. If you haven't gone over there, you definitely want to check it out. We've got some great merch items. I'm kind of brainstorming new stuff as I go on, and we'll be adding to it more and more. Oh, hey, we got Marvin joining the stage here. Welcome, Marvin. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey, no problem, guys. Glad to do it this evening.
Cool. And, so with that, one of my favorite shirts, which I should have worn, but, it must be dirty, is my favorite portable /P shirt. If you head over to the store, that is in my tribute to getting my first kilo at Reed's Ferry Forest. I created that shirt because, heck, that's true portable for me. And so that and many other stuff is always up on the store. So head on over there and grab that. You can get the stickers there too, as well. If you're always into getting discounts and some of the products that I review on my channel, I've got now an affiliates and discount link on my website. You can head over there and check that out. We just got a new affiliate link from Halibut Electronics. So you might want to go check that out, especially if you're into their user and user and radio my gosh, OHIS standard. Yes.
Yes.
Got a blank there. Yeah. So all the Halibut stuff is 10% off. So head on over there, grab those coupon codes and send them the love. Outside of that, and of course, Reliance Antenna, but I don't want to give too much away because we'll be giving a lot away today from Reliance. So I appreciate Matt and all the stuff he's, given me and we're definitely going to give back to as well. So, outside of that, if you haven't heard, I've got a Patreon. And so with that, I'm going to do a shameless plug here. if you want to kind of get in on the and catch some of the newer pre-release videos that I got in the queue that I haven't released yet to the mainstream channel, you can head over to my Patreon page and check that out. There's a bunch of great discounts in there for Patreon users as well. So if you're looking to get some discounts on merch and discounts on, stuff from all of the vendors, you want to check that out and become part of my Patreon community. And so, outside of that, let's kind of get things going. So, we've got about an hour, and the frequency is not in use yet, Shane. Although, if we're led down that road, we might be eventually, firing up the flex here too.
We're taking early check-ins for the Y on that.
Yeah, so we're gonna call.
Doesn't
CQ
start for 4 hours.
300, right? We're gonna all park there and say we didn't hear them. Yeah. So I guess for our first giveaway, because we're just going to kick this thing right off at the bat, is that we are going to do a sticker pack. And that first sticker pack is my N1JUR stickers. We got a couple Live Free and Ham stickers in there too as well. And, if I can convince Paul over there to throw in a N1OG Oscar the Grouch or two, we'll make sure we get that in the pack there. And you'll have a fun time with, decorating your laptop, and it's guaranteed to give you an extra 5 dB every time you go out in POTA. So
at least
at least, right, exactly, at least. So let's do. All right, we are going to do our first drawing, and I'm going to get that set up here because I'm a little slow on the uptake here. All right, so let me.
I would have done it for you, but I don't know how.
I know, right? Well, I should have just given you. You are my Frank, as we'll say. So, all right. So we are going to go with our first drawing. This is for, again, the sticker pack. We are using the keyword of stickers, STICKS. So if you want to get on that, feel free to get in and put that in the chat as you see it, exactly the way it is. So how are you guys doing? Good to see you. Obviously, thank you again for joining, Marvin. Glad to see you. What's been going on with you, Marvin? I know you've been super busy.
I have been. I've got several different things from different perspectives. One is my new job with the ARRL as the Education and Learning Manager. So a lot going on in that direction. Can't really discuss a lot outside of that, but as we go. But yeah, a lot going on that. A lot of good stuff. I'll just say a lot. I know the ARRL has been throwing out a lot of learn courses lately, and been doing a lot of mass media there. And I frankly didn't know that thing even existed until I joined the ARRL as an employee. So, there's a lot of good courses out there online. So that's certainly great. For my stream, the ham radio guy, pretty much, got a lot of stuff preparing for Dayton. We'll be going next week. I've got a live stream about 8:15 right after this myself, having a guy from the POTA booth join. And you can find me over on my channel, W0MET. Or the ham radio guy on YouTube will be doing a live stream as well. We'll be talking about POTA bingo. So if you're going to Hamvention, find out more about what POTA bingo is. So should be a good cool thing to find out. So kind of looking forward to that. And then I've got the local club trying to start doing some digging around and putting a mast antenna up. And one of my biggest things I'm actually contenting with right now is I've got my FTDX10. And it's some power issues. Looks like it's getting the full power output, but I'm not getting full power output on the amplifier. So I've been dealing with that a lot of hours this week on that one. So it's been a fun week.
I can imagine, man, dude. Yeah. As you continue to go on here, man, of course, the stupid drawing is not going to play well today. I'm seeing that everyone's throwing the keyword in the chat and the, count isn't not going up here. Let me fire this up again here. Come on, silly technology. Of course, it always happens. There we go. Finally, she's now counting up there. Sorry about that. Go ahead and throw it in there. I won't double count you there. I was just like, why is the counter not going up? All right, so cool. Well, looking forward to seeing more stuff out of you, especially with the ARRL learning side of things. Steve's done some awesome stuff there, and we actually just talked to Carlos last night on a live stream with him, and he's working with Good Game on doing some parachute mobile and getting youth on the air. And so, we'll
have a big event at the Hamvention with Carlos coming out and the youth being able to talk to him as he goes. So yeah, that's a big thing we've been working on, and should be pretty good. So a lot going on with the youth and really trying to build a younger generation of ham radio operators from our side, as well as something that's always, I've always kind of tried to accomplish as well. So it's a good thing going on for sure.
Very cool. Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be fun because, by the time I get old, I'll actually have a couple more people on the air to actually make contact with.
Right.
It's all good. Cool. All right. Well, hey, Mike, so thank you again for joining. What's been going on with you? I know you've been kind of super busy and.
Yeah, it's just been like a crazy busy couple weeks between work, family, and everything and stuff. But that's kind of wrapping up. I'm starting to get anxious for Hamvention because I'll be heading out, and I realized the other day I'm like I haven't even like thought about it, since booking the hotel like a year ago and stuff. So I gotta spend some time going. I peeked at the program the other day. I gotta start going through and see what forums I might want to go to, and I got a shopping list of a couple things I'll be looking for when I'm there. One of which is I did get a new car recently, and I never had a mobile radio installed in my other one because I only been a ham for 3 years, and when I had the car, I the last 3 years I thought every year I'm getting rid of it. So, yeah, so I'll be on the lookout for some deals there and for mobiles, whether it's the rigs, antennas, mounts, and everything. And I've been having fun playing radio with my club's Yaesu 710. They bought one about a year ago that we lend out to members and whatnot and use for some portable events. And I know it needed a firmware update this year, and I hadn't played with it for a year and wanted to get my hands on it again. And and it's fun just trying new things. I like my 705 and 7300, but no matter how much you like a particular radio or antenna, you gain so much more by trying different things out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. And, I love the last review with the whole LCD heads up against the 7300. The old technology still stands the test of time. You heard it. I'm saying it here, Paul. came to the rescue.
Mike,
it's
is this your first year at Hamvention?
No, this will be my third year. So I've gone each year since being a ham. I was clueless my first year, and this was like a lot of people the first time out there, and you're just like, oh my gosh, you're so overwhelmed.
Are you there on Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, I'll be heading out Thursday morning, and so I'll probably be out there like around 5, 6 o'clock on Thursday.
Okay, yeah, we'll try and hook up on Friday then sometime.
Definitely.
I'm going to cut you guys off real quick at the knees here real quick. We're going to kick off the first draw here. So this again is for I'm clicking the wrong button. My gosh, I got to have another beat. There we go. All right, kicking it off. All right, first one of the winners of tonight. Please not be me. Andy Cowley. There we go.
Yes.
All right, Andy.
Woo!
Do me a favor, Andy, and everybody else tonight. Go ahead and send me a quick email, n1jur.nh@gmail.com, and I'll make sure I get all that stuff out to you. And so if you haven't, make sure your QRZ information is updated too as well, just in case I have to hunt you down that way. But all right, cool. So let's kind of keep plugging around here. We'll be rolling to our next giveaway in a couple of minutes here because, like I said, it's just giveaway after giveaway, guys. So just buckle in and hold up and wait for the next one. So
I'm only here for the free antennas.
Yep, that's what I heard. All right, well, all right, cool. On the we're gonna have to circle back on some of the Hamvention there. I got a couple of questions for you, just as a fresh virgin, never been. I'd love to hear. I know you said you went Marvin too as well. You've been there a couple of times.
I've been there several times in the past. Yeah,
so, we're gonna have to live vicariously through you there a little bit, but I got a couple of questions around that. But hey, over to you, Paul. What's been obviously going on with you? I mean, since last night?
Well, let's see. Since last night, we did a little bit of homeschooling today. I played around on 20 meters, hunting some DX down in the extra portion. Gotta love being an extra.
Hey.
And and I guess the other thing I did was I looked into some different antenna theory and trying to figure out the next antenna to figure out and test.
Cool, nice. So you figured that out yet? Are you going to divulge that, or are you just going to use it for your next video on your next channel?
Oh yeah, no, it'll be a surprise.
Okay. All right. Well, then you're gonna have to, show some love. If you haven't shown some love, since we're all spreading the love here, head on over to N1OG's channel there and like and subscribe to him. And obviously, if you haven't done it to Mike's and or Marvin's, please, do the same for these guys. I love these guys, and it's great to hang out with them, and they support me. So, definitely do the same for them and be part of their communities, because heck, we intertwine a lot. So it's all good to see all of us at any one given time. Cool. All right. Well, as I said, we're just going to be riding this giveaway train. So let's kick off the next one there. This one is going to be for our Reliance Antenna Bug Out Mini. So this is in the nice, my gosh, there we go. The nice green. This is the silicone wire with a little bug out and the lovely antenna clip. So elegantly built, handcrafted by a lovely Matt N3 VAN from Reliance Antenna. This antenna has served me well, and I think every one of us at one time or another has, used it out in the field and rave about it. So let me get this set up here. If I can just give this control to Paul. Save myself the headache. All right. Okay. So this one we're going to do I'm going to call this the bug out. There we go. OUT. Okay. So this one's keyword bug out. And let me kick this back here. Let that run for a little bit. And hopefully folks will throw that in the chat. And hopefully this thing will actually count up and not hang again. Spell it like you see it. And back to the Hamvention stuff. So like, obviously, Marvin, how many times have you gone so far?
This will be my 4th time there. So the last 2 years prior to this, I've not been able to go because of graduations in the way about this time of year too. But I've been there I was like the 16, 17, 18,
right?
Yeah, or 20, something like that. I was in there. So I've been there several times before. So it's a great place to go. If you haven't been to Hamvention, I think everyone probably needs to go at least once. And there's a lot. Of all the places from Hamcation and Huntsville, I definitely believe Dayton is to be the absolute best that I've been to. And every vendor you can think of will go there. Sometimes that's the only vendor, like some vendors will only go to Dayton. They don't go any other conventions at all or Hamfest. So it's definitely worth going to and visiting. And it's a huge place. You can't get around in one day.
Really? So. Okay. All right. How about you, Mike? This is what, your second year, you said? Or third?
This will be my 3rd year there. The first year I went out, I think, and for anyone who's going out for the first time, like, here's my tip. What the biggest lesson I learned is, we left, my buddy and I, Thursday night. We stayed overnight halfway. It's about a 7-hour trip, so it's doable in a day. But we broke it up. We did a late shift POTA, stayed overnight, finished the drive in the morning, and got there Friday afternoon. And we're just so overwhelmed, realized how much we missed out by getting there, late on Friday. We did a lot on Saturday, and then, Sunday it rained. So, and we were pretty much done anyway. So we left. But when we went out last year, we instead just drove all the way out Thursday, like we're going to do next week. Got there. So we're there Thursday night and, ready to go first thing Friday morning. Because one of the things we didn't do last year or the first year, was spend a lot of time in the flea market and making the rounds there. We were just so overwhelmed with all the vendors and stuff, but we wanted to make sure we had enough time to do that. And so, however much time you got to spend there, spend it, because between the forums, the flea market, the vendors, and then just seeing friends that you only get a chance to see once or twice a year, it's so worth it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I can definitely say that that's a big thing for me. I'm like I said, a Hamvention virgin. Haven't been there. I probably will definitely have to at least make the trip once, if not a couple of times. But it's going to be tough, obviously being on the other side of the coin where your YouTube, you have your own content channel and, you're trying to manage that. It's like, what do? You do more content or you do more the enjoyment aspect? And that's going to be a tough balance, to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
So,
and that's I did one video after, and that was pretty much it. Last year, I was pretty much new to YouTube anyway, but I'm going to focus on just enjoying it, having a good time. The people that are doing the live streams and, you know, they got it down. There's a lot of good content out there for those who can't make it and stuff. I don't need to bring sand to the beach. You know, it's
Good analogy.
Just have fun, man. Just have fun.
Yep.
Yeah, the only thing I can say, Mike, is if you can get there and you've got maybe 2 or 3 vendors you really want to kind of highlight or talk to about their product, it might be worth doing a couple of those, and that's it, you know. So
yeah, yep.
That's what I'm going to be focusing on, at least. So
I will, you know, I'll slide you a nice big crisp $20 bill if you can get a good one-on-one with Flex before they reveal. But hey, I just want to mention this. Shane wanted me to throw this out there. Obviously, if you're in the process of testing, like Todd, I don't know if Todd is in the chat or not. You know, he's working towards getting his extra. You know, there is the monthly testing sessions. And Shane, just leave in the comments below, or if you can ship off to us, you know, how they can get over to get registered for that. We'll definitely make sure we put it in the show notes. And let you know, those that are looking to get an upgrade or get their technician, you know, first time, that they can get over to you guys.
Yeah, and always good IVE for those guys. Like, it's a ton of fun. Everybody always has a good test session.
All right, cool. All right, well, we had 22, so let's see if we can get 2 more to get to 25, and then I'll run the drawing there. But there's many more antennas coming, so fear not. You know, there's definitely plenty to go around, as they say. I couldn't find the Oprah clip that I was looking for, where everybody gets cars, but I'm not giving away cars tonight. The budget's not there this year. So, question for you. So, like, when you guys go, are you guys just going like going out there Thursday night and you're staying Friday, Saturday? Are you trying to go earlier because, you know, is there enough activity like maybe starting Wednesday?
I know and I'd love to go earlier. It's, you know, with family and work, it's hard to take, you know, that much time off. But you know, was it like 5 days, 4 days in May happens leading right up to that, and that's you know, QRP event, and I think that'd be really interesting to attend. I go back and forth between running 100 watts and you know, 5 or 10. But I think that'd be neat to go check out. But you know, I'm getting in, like I said, Thursday night, but there's plenty to do Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. Sunday is a free day, so you don't need a ticket unless that's changed. But my understanding is Sunday is the free day, so anyone can get in.
Okay.
Something to keep in mind if you know, you're in a position, especially last minute, you can maybe drive out, you know, get there, then yeah, check it out.
Okay, cool. All right, let me let's go ahead and run this real quick here.
Send it.
All right, if I can hit the right button again. All right, so this again is for the end-fed half wave for Reliance antenna, and the winner is John M. All right, hey John, congratulations.
All right,
Congrats.
Bug out mini here, and if you can do me a favor, just like I said, send me an email at n1jur.nh@gmail.com, and we'll make sure we get that over to you as quick as we can. And congratulations. Cool. So all right, yeah, so one of the things that, you know, kind of when it gets into like, you know, conventions of that scale, I mean, the most ones that I think I've ever been to is like the one we have here in you know, what we call the section for HamX, and you know, from my experience, it hasn't been as glorious as, you know, Hamvention or, you know, Hamcation or any of those other guys. You know, do you find that, like, you know, you guys are better off when you stay on campus, like, or close by, or is it just like you can just pop in and out any time and you don't miss much?
unless you have probably made that reservation a year in advance, it really gets tough to try and find a place to stay locally. I've stayed out. Usually it's about 20 to 30 minutes out from the Xenia Fairgrounds itself. But, you know, I'm usually making my reservations also in like January. So it's one of those things. I know people do make it a long time in advance sometimes, but it's not usually too bad for traffic, especially if you get in there early. But if you get there at 8 o'clock, there will be people lined up at the gate already ready to go. And so, yeah, I'm going to be in Thursday morning. I'll be in there around 11 o'clock. I'm flying into Columbus and then driving about an hour down. And then I'll, be in the fairgrounds around probably 1 or 2 by the time I get a rental car and all that. And then I've got to fly out Friday night. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there all weekend. So I've got another graduation again with my niece in Kansas City. So I'll be flying to Kansas City. Yeah. So, but it's a really kind of a big a day and a half for me, but it's definitely
you guys going for the media passes, or are you just going as regular, just kind of
so I've got a media pass, and then I've also signed up for on Thursday night. I'll be doing the Flex banquet, so we'll see what I find out there. Maybe they'll give some heads up there. So
I'm doing the media pass this year. I didn't do it last year. I was kind of new, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not going to bother asking, and and I probably could have, but no, I did it this year. So
cool. So, and you guys, Mike, you said you're staying at a hotel with somebody else?
Yep. One of my buddies, W2 MVP, we both got our license around the same time. He does POTA too. And we went out together, 3 years ago and together for the first time, newly licensed, and did it last year. And I stay at the Hampton Inn in Xenia. Like, I'm a Hilton guy. I travel a lot for work, and I was able, like, each year, and he does the same thing too. Like, we've been able to use our points like all the time. So it's like, it's a good use of the Hilton points.
I've used a lot of Hilton points for hotels for Hamfest.
Yeah. But it's better than paying whatever the market rate is and stuff for an event like that. So
it's insane.
So yeah, I know a lot of people stay at like Caesar's Creek, and and which is a POTA reference, and everything. I haven't been over there. I don't know if I did do a POTA on the way last year, but I'm not as concerned about getting out to play radio that weekend, because there's just too much to see and do and stuff. But yeah.
Right. Now, you guys hang out with any of the other YouTubers, or you just kind of just do your own thing, or try to make an effort to cross paths with them?
Usually cross path and at least interact, say hi, make contact a little bit.
Yep.
Usually when they're longer, if I was there Friday night or something, I'd probably go if they're at a park, or sometimes they'll go to different bars or restaurants and hang out as a large group and have people come invite as well. So I'll usually get invited to wherever that might be, but I haven't like I said, this year I won't be able to do that, unfortunately. So
cool. All right. Well,
yeah, and everyone's really. I'll point this out. Everyone, if you see any of us, if you see Marvin or I, like, say hi.
Say hi.
Yeah. Don't hesitate to reach out. And I found, like, everyone else, especially when I went up the first year or so, was really, everyone's
we'll
really
stickers.
open, down to earth. Yeah, I got stickers, so I will have stickers too. Yeah, but everyone's open. Everyone's just having a great time. It's so much fun, and it's good. Like I said, that social interaction you get in person, the eyeball QSOs, that's what makes it so special.
Yes, Shane, you guys are all nice. Nobody bites last time I checked.
And Shane was up real briefly last year too, so it was good to see him.
Well, he's got it really easy. I mean, literally, he has to just book a flight and he's on and he goes. But none of us we actually have to schedule it and pay cash. So yeah, cool on that one. So all right, well, so I guess it's similar to the same, more like kind of near fest for us is just kind of the same thing around here. We're just like, it's all the camaraderie and hanging out, and less about the commercialism per se. But although that definitely is something that everybody strives to get the latest on. Although I wish I don't know what it is. It's like, and this is kind of one of my pet peeves. It's like the iteration cycles on hardware for ham radio gear is just so slow. I mean, like, I get it. They want to recoup their initial investment, but gosh, those days are long gone of like having 5-year spans before you reiterate is kind of ridiculous, especially how SDRs and everything is just, technology is growing so far. I mean, so I guess, am I the only one thinking that same boat, or, should we just all be like, putting a stake in the ground and forcing all of the commercial guys to, start iterating better? No, nobody wants to take a stand. Just me.
Yeah, no, No, you nailed it. It's frustrating. Just to touch on like MFJ real quick. Like you see things, announcements like that. First thing that goes through my mind is like, great. Now there's like a lack of competition, and I think when you have those iterations, you have those that competition out there, it drives innovation. It forces others to compete, whether it's on the technology, whether it's on the price point, whether it's on some of the features, and that's important. And it's it's disappointing sometimes, and it's the same radio. At the same point, like sometimes the same radio is just that good. So I saw the ICOM had a press release out in the last week or so. Like the 7300, it just passed. I think it was 100,000 sales.
Yeah. But
and
okay.
and that's just like it people are still buying them today because it's good. But then you got the 710, which now that they've dropped the price, I hopefully puts pressure on ICOM, and I'd like to see something new come out from ICOM, and I'd like to see that back and forth. ICOM comes out with the 705. Let's see, now that Yaesu is done with the 818, let's see what's next from them and see if they can come out with the 705 killer.
Yeah, well, more than likely,
Exactly.
if Yaesu goes down the same path that they do, they're going to just basically put a bullet in the 891 and then nothing else. And it's like, thanks, I appreciate that.
It's all right. Team ICOM will come up with something good.
Thanks, Paul. Do you have an in on that? Because granted, 20 years ago they were like the cutting edge. You couldn't get anything better than an ICOM. Now they are still holding their position. Granted, Kenwood just kind of killed themselves automatically and really just fell away, and Yaesu just somehow wanted to spend more time in the VHF UHF space than really iterating on their HF equipment. And when I got back into the hobby, I was just like, wow, man, with the
but I still
good.
But I still think Yaesu has a much larger selection of radios for people to choose from than what even ICOM does. And they're both great radios. Don't get me wrong. I've got one ICOM and most of my stuff is Yaesu. So I may be a little biased in that conversation, but I agree. We definitely need more innovation of radios, and Kenwood is out the door. So you really are left to, if you want two good radios, you can buy the Zygoos and others all day long. And those aren't, some people really love those radios, but basically ICOM and Yaesu are the two players in the whole field. And I do think that innovation of radios should be coming out a little quicker, for sure.
Well, so why is it like that? Like we look at like ICOM and Yaesu, and it comes to the VHF UHF space. ICOM has a couple of like VHF UHF mobiles, and then they've got the combinations, which we'll put off to the side. You look at Yaesu, and Yaesu's got like 5 iterations of like VHF UHF, and it's like everybody I know, when they ask that, what should I go for, a 200? Should I go for a 300? Should I do the 500? And it's like there are all these small little like variances that just piss me off enough that it's like, why is it that we have to follow the Apple and Android, saga of like, remember when Androids first came out and how many Google phones you had? You had 19 different versions, and it's like, oh, I have this Android version and this software, and it's exactly what Yaesu looks like. It's all fragmented. The menuing systems aren't all the same, and it's like,
well, even like ICOM, they're the only one that has a true VHF UHF single sideband radio. It's that 9700. And they're the only ones that have it out there. So if you want, a single sideband radio, guess who you're going to? So there's no other competition out there for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a 991. It does have the capability. I mean, but it's not truly just an VHF, UHF. It's also got the HF capability built into it too. So,
but do you think the 991 was created to like kind of just say, hey, ICOM, we're still here? Like kind of a message? Because I feel like I look at it and it's like, it doesn't have a true SDR in it. It's got a pseudo hybrid version. It's got VHF, UHF, but it's only FM. And then they threw Fusion on top of it because they knew if they didn't, they'd be in trouble. And so they kind of like, I don't know. They just said, hey, we're doing a Me Too offering. And I felt like when I got back in the hobby, look at the 991, I was just like, yeah, it's an all band radio, but it's not an all band radio. I don't have sideband on VHF, UHF, right?
Yeah, you do.
I thought that it does.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
does.
The 991 does do sideband.
Yeah, it's got single sideband on it.
It's all band all mode.
Single sideband HF, but doesn't have single sideband VHF, UHF, does it?
Yes, it does.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that was just FM only, but okay. All right, I stand corrected. I thought that was a kind of a short compromise in terms of not offering a full like all mode radio, but okay. Oh man. All right. Well then I'm gonna have to repent for my sins here. We're gonna do another giveaway. This one's for the Reliance antenna off center fed bug out. So this one's in the new high vis orange that Matt's got going, and so we are going to use the quick code of
991A.
I should have done that. That would be that
Sideband.
So that one we'll let that run for a little while. Yeah. Okay. All right. So 991 is sideband. All right. So yeah, it's starting to roll in here. Okay. Keep the pitchforks down.
But it would be, as somebody that likes to do VHF, UHF, and like the contest for that, I like to mix that up with POTA and SOTA. It's really a shame that there aren't more all band, all mode radios. You've got the 7100, the 705, and the 991A, but that's kind of it for like what's out there in production that you can buy new in the box, I think. Yeah, it's too bad.
But like, so it would be, I don't know. I feel like it's like because I remember I was a ham. I got my ticket in 91, and so because I got my ticket in 91, the first radio or HT I got was a FT 470. And if you ever seen this thing, it was literally like 18 inches tall with a maybe a 3.5 hour battery that gave me barely it was the first Yaesu's dual band radio, and it was I spent a lot of money on it when I bought it, but at the same time it was just kind of like, again, the reach for Yaesu to be able to say, hey, we're finally in the dual band market, because I think ICOM had already had a dual band at that point, and they were just they were like, oh, we're just gonna do these single mono bands and not do much of any other features, and DTMF keys were kind of an option, although now you can't find a radio these days with a DTMF pad anymore anyway. But it's kind of like that whole philosophy that was like 20 plus years ago for me is still kind of lingering in the background. It's like, again, back to that whole iteration, like let's start creating radios every 3 years and doing something more like software based that's less this custom firmware. But
the last comment, the UV5K is a single sideband 2 meter radio.
I saw that.
Yeah,
pretty
you
great.
can mod that. There was
I got to check that out. That might be fun. But
it's actually not that hard. It's like a small little. I can't remember. One of our club members did it, and he basically just did it over like a day. And it like the hardest part was just trying to get the firmware, to format right, because it was a little wonky. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd just say one challenge, back up to the innovation thing too, is like what's the life cycle for ham radios and stuff. You mentioned that Yaesu HT. I picked up at an auction. My club did in the fall, ICOM IC32AT. That's a brick. That's one of those bricks that was their first dual band HT. It works. I got it for like $40 or something. But I mean, here's this radio that's 30 years old, this HT, and it works fine. I use it for WinLink and APRS with a Mobi-Link. I check into nets with it. It's up in my kitchen right now. If people aren't getting a new radio as often as they get a new phone, every couple years or something like that, then there may not be as much of an incentive for manufacturers to keep dropping new rigs.
But you kind of mentioned, I mean, you mentioned RIP MFJ. I mean, in essence, now that's kind of cleared the slate. I mean, I don't know. Have you guys? After I heard the MFJ announcement, I kind of went through QST and I counted how many pages ad-wise MFJ had, and it was about 14 pages. I mean, it's ridiculous how many ads they had, and so that's like, I'm sure making ARL freak out at this point, because that's probably a lot of ad revenue that they're gonna have to replace and fill back in. But at the same time, my attempt at looking at QST, I was never looking at the those things, because it's like it's done on the internet. You just go out to the internet and look at MFJ's website or whatever, and or go up to DX Engineering and find it there. So it was never really like I gleaned those pages a lot. So I think the loss of that, and then the loss of some of their stuff, I don't know, what's your take on that? Like I don't feel like there's going to be that big of a void for me.
I think it will
Well,
be for the ham radio community in a lot of ways because I mean you've got Cushcraft and High Gain and their MFJ products themselves. You've even got Mirage. There's one or two other big ones I'm missing in there, but it's like, where do you go get some of those things now? I mean, those were things that an entry level technician or general that needed to go get an SWR meter or wanted to get a cheaper antenna of some sort and not spend $3,000 for a big beam. They could go get one from Cushcraft or something that was, maybe $700-800 and, at least get on the air and get out and, put something cheap at the house for them to get started with. Whereas now you start looking at the market and I'm going, even a Meritron, that's the other big one, the other one I'm missing. I've got a Meritron sitting right behind me here, but the thing is, that was probably one of the most reasonable amplifiers for right around a $2,500 range. I'm looking at amplifiers now and I'm seeing you're got $4,200 starting out the door, and that's the cheapest one out the door going. So, I mean, it provided a lot of entry level price components for amateur radio operators that may not exist now. So,
well, let me throw this curve at you. So, yeah, I granted if you were going to buy, like we'll call the white, the blue collar kind of ham radio, company for most, entry level hams that had, are a budget kind of focus. But how many people would normally go buy a brand new, say, Cushcraft antenna from Cushcraft? 9 times out of 10, if you're on a budget kind of approach, you're looking for the deals, which 9 times out of 10 are usually be like a ham fest or someone's gonna, pass on an R7 or something like that, and they're upgrading their antenna. There we go, take it, false approval. But a lot of is it gonna? I don't know. Is it gonna make the used market that much more, overinflated because people are going to be like, well, hey, I can, or there's going to be fire sales. I mean, it's going to be the opposite where all the MFJ stuff is all going to be cheap because they can't get a replacement for it.
That's what I'm kind of thinking is it's going to go, people are going to be trying to sell it off one way or the other because may not, they're still honoring their warranties and their, repairs, which is good. But, they said, unforeseeable future, but does that mean 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? So it's hard to say. So,
yeah,
good question.
Well, and there's some things that they make too that it's not so much that it, there's some people look at the cheap things that are available and that's good because people need options at different price points. But there's some things like the manual tuners that if those aren't going to be around, there's not a lot of other options for things like that. So the other point I'd add too, you bring up a good point when you talk about the ads and QST, but think about how many ham fests and clubs that MFJ is, help support one way or another with donating items, for raffles or showing up to ham fests, sponsoring ads and club newsletters or things like that. So I know I'm pretty sure my club that they've donated things before. I know companies like DX Engineering and others have, and if you don't have that, support for events and things like that, it can hurt clubs.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that side of the coin. So, hey, let's put a pin in that for a second. Let's kick this drawing off here. We're at 25. And again, this is for the off-center fed Reliance antenna, again, from Matt. Thank you. Matt, always, we enjoy your antennas and your products. And this antenna is a great little one. I did a review on this on my channel, too, if you want to go check it out. And I think, actually, Mike, you did, too, as well, right? The off-center fed?
No, I got the
Hey, look at you, Eric. You won.
freaking rigged.
How did I get in there? All right, let's redraw that one. That we'll scratch that twice. my own drawing. Hey, great! I got to keep the antenna.
That's rigged.
There we go, Shannon. There we go. This will be an easy shipment. Shannon, thank you. I will make sure you send an email to n1jor.nh@gmail, and we will get that antenna out the door for you. And thank you again for entering the drawing. All right, so let me keep up with my notes here. So in terms of what, again, you have to forgive my ignorance. What do you think, has MFJ come up with any new products? I mean, have they been iterating new stuff, or has it just been, they kind of been selling the same stuff over and over again?
I'm still so new to this. I don't know, to be honest, having only been a ham for 3 years, I know that when you see their setup at Hamvention, and I'm sure it's the same, at others, and you just see how much stuff that there is. You see that, and it goes beyond the ham sticks and the things that you might think of like that. And you see the tuners, you see all the specialty gear.
The power poles.
There's so much. So
strips,
much. Yeah.
I mean,
so
the
maybe
Mirage,
that's
2-meter
view.
amplifiers, things like that. So, yeah, they have a lot of stuff. But I don't know that I can't think of anything in my recent years. I've been doing this since 95, but I can't really think of anything new that they've really come up with over the years that I'm aware of. That they have, had the same products out there for a long time. They may have had a modification of like an SWR meter or something, but where they put power poles on the front, or maybe put an extra meter on the front or something. But I don't think there's been a lot of other than that new stuff over across the board. I mean, they've bought new companies over the years, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I think they kind of felt like in order to stay competitive, they had to just scoop up their competition, and which, as we all know in the IT space in general and companies that, that's kind of the way to do it. But, at the same time, it also kind of, we've been going through, I would kind of look at it being only in the hobby since, pre-COVID, that, maybe the market has been stale for a long time because MFJ's bought so many of those companies that none of them have really been able to reiterate and reinvent themselves and, make things better or more efficient or, improved upon. And, so I don't know. It's something we're going to have to ride out for a little while. I think in the long run, because, we'll have to kind of sit back and wait and see, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know. I love my MFJ stuff, so I'm definitely sad to see them go. As I look in front of me, I mean, half my desk is MFJ, like,
including his microphone. No, just kidding.
No, that's different. That's an AKG. You gave me that.
Yeah. I don't know. My thought with this whole MFJ thing would be that, businesses like, say, like Reliance as an example, these small like mom and pop, kind of businesses that are, kind of trying to establish themselves, would create more space for them to kind of step in. So maybe there might be a smaller company that says, hey, I can reiterate on the R7 line, of antennas and make them better. And, that way they don't feel like they're getting, patent slapped by, MFJ any longer, because, they don't want to build an antenna that might look a little similar to their, patent, if they had a patent on, whatever antenna they're building. So I don't know, maybe it might open the doors a bit.
Well,
Right,
will someone come in and buy it still? That's the other question. So,
yeah, we have a couple of club members who used to work for Cushcraft in our club, and they're like, it went through the Discord going, hey, who's got enough money here? We can scrape a bunch of money together, go buy Cushcraft again, and bring it back to New Hampshire. So we'll see.
Yeah, it used to be based right in Manchester.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's in that building now? I don't think it's a auto parts store, isn't there something like that? No.
It's in the mills that Dean came and bought. So who knows?
Right. Okay. So yeah, it could be anything at this point. All right, cool. All right. Well, so we're at the a little past the quarter of hour. So we've got our next antenna. This is going to kind of be the big antenna. This one I'm keeping a little quiet. And so I graciously was able to, we'll say, squeeze another Mad Dog coil from Marty there. So I've got a Mad Dog Coil 40 that I'm going to be giving away with its collar and additional cap. So if you haven't been over to his website or even haven't seen that review, head on over to my channel. You can check that out. We had a blast with Marty. He's a great guy, makes a phenomenal antenna. I fully endorse it from this side. I mean, put it this way, I'm not giving up my Wolf River coil, but in essence, I like carrying a lot lighter. It's definitely smaller and more agile. So cool. So, all right, we are going to do another drawing for that. And let me go put this one in. Hey, give me a keyword, Mike.
Mike.
Woof, Mike.
Yeah.
You heard it. Keyword is now with that. Come on. All right, there we go. Oh. All right. So
do you have one more giveaway after this, or is this the last one?
No, I have one more after this.
Okay.
All right. So keyword is Woof Mike.
We've gone this long without addressing what I realized in the beginning is probably the elephant in the room, that today is 5/9.
Oh yeah! Holy crap!
How
Wow.
about that?
Yeah. Well, and none of us gave us a 5.9, so shame on all of us.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all 5'9" right now.
I'll have to say though, based off of the fact that we got so many freaking solar flares and all of the storms, none of us are getting a 5.9 at all.
Oh, not in the next few days.
I actually got a regional emergency management alert coming in that on May 11th there's a big solar flare coming in. I mean, blackouts and GPS, whole 9 yards, and I mean they're putting out national warnings on this.
It's a class 4.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going potoing then. Let's see how it goes.
There's always VHF, and if you have a 991A, you'll be fine.
So, yeah,
Just activate on 2-meter FT8.
There's going to be a mass run out for 991s, and I'm going to go up to ham radio outlet, and there'll be none on none on supply.
There you go. Ken's got it. G4's coming.
G4's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I did a POTA a couple days ago when we had one of the X2 flares or whatever it was, and it was tough go. I mean, I think my one contact for a good half an hour, 45 minutes was Izzo on 40 meters. So if that was a stretch, and he would, it was like a roller coaster. You'd hear him for 5 seconds, and then the band would be like, nope, not going to hear the rest of that, and just dropping the tank, and then over and over again. So. But I was, luckily able to squeak out 20 contacts, so it was enough to be able to, make me feel at least confident I got the park. CMEs, oh my. Okay, well, talk about the end times here.
Hey, this is solar cycle 25.
Though. Like, if you want to go do some 6-meter aurora propagation, then hey,
that'd be great.
Would be the time.
Hey, Paul,
get out there on 6. Yeah.
What's that like? Watching paint dry at this time? You probably want to watch paint dry at this point.
Probably right.
Surprisingly, if you go out during the contests, that's where all the activity is on VHF. It's predominantly FT8. It's amazing when you see the difference what it is on a VHF contest weekend versus like a random day. But
well, I call FT8 lazy radio because like I'll have it running back here while I'm doing video editing or something else on the computer, and I'll get the pop up that the QSO is finished, and so I'll click to confirm it and go, all right, enable TX, and go back to what I was doing. But in the field, God, it's just so awful. It is so freaking boring.
I call FT8 my manual. It's manual CW, manual Morse code. So I just love to say it in front of all my CW guys. We're at 24, so let's try to get to 28, and then I'll run the drawing here. But all right, so obviously the weekends are going to be a little tough in terms of the bands. I mean, you guys are obviously, when is Hamvention? This coming week or the week after?
Next week.
It's next week.
Weekend.
Yep.
So
next
hopefully
week.
it'll be good, radio times for you guys then, and hopefully Carlos will be able to take advantage of it for sure, weather-wise. Yeah. So any obviously we're not going to be doing much POTA this weekend, but any future radio plans you guys got on the radar at all?
Not everyone at once.
I don't really have much on the plans. I've got my next couple weekends of putting my Gap Titan up, so I'll be spending weekends working on that. So,
well, dude, yeah, talk about your trailer. Actually, thinking of now that if it's okay to bring it out of the background there. You want to talk a little about your nice?
Yeah, I don't have a good way to bring it up right now in the background, but I've got a ATC 8x16 foot all aluminum trailer, and something I figured out. I have a wireless LTE modem, and I stuck it in there the other day, and it was like a Faraday cage inside that thing. But I'll be working on that between now and end of June because I've got field day coming up. So I want to be able to finish putting the insulation in the walls and getting some of the other my antenna. I've got basically a port I'm going to drill on the side of the hole and put my coax through. A lot of people have been told me to use like the barrel connectors and just drill a hole for the barrel connector.
Yeah,
I don't know if I really just want to do that full time versus just putting one port in there. I could throw Ethernet in there. I could throw coax in there. I could throw an extension cord in there. I could use that port for anything then to put all those different cables through. I think it'd just be easier to do than having to just have the, call it 2 or 3 different barrel connectors. If I wanted to bring 4 antenna coaxes in, I know I had 3 barrel connectors coming through, then I'd be limited what I could do. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do there, but I think I'm just going to go with that port that will allow all the coaxes and cables to come through one area. But I'll be using that for field day. I'll probably just set up a portable table in there for now. I'd like to do more with it. I just haven't had the time to work on it. But and I'll, I can sleep in if I need to or whatever. But I'll try and do field day in it full time this year. So
What do you put an AC in it too?
I'm sorry, what?
AC. You got the Creature Comforts AC.
Oh, AC in it. I don't have AC in it yet. I'm trying to figure out what I need for that exactly because I'm only running about 30 amps. I really need a soft startup AC machine to be able to do that. But I'll probably just have a fan or open the doors if I need to. But for this year anyway, so I'll have something before winter field day on it for sure.
What are you running for radios in there?
I'll run my FT991A, and I'll usually have a 2 meter in there as well. So just for local talk in that type of stuff. So,
nice.
But I have AC power in there now, and I've got a 12 volt rig, not rig expert, Anderson power strip that I can plug all the different radios and stuff into. So it works out pretty slick.
Oh, cool, nice. I'll have to send some photos over and we'll check it out once you finally get close to field day experience. So actually, speaking of field day, what are folks doing for field day? You guys got anything planned at all, Mike or Marvin? I know what Paul's doing, but we can touch upon that in a second. Go ahead, Mike. What are you doing? Are you doing anything at all?
I have always had conflicts with field day, and
every year.
And I know for others, like you think about the time of year, at least for us in the Northeast. You got a lot of high school graduations and other things. And it's, the beginning of like wedding seasons and everything else. So there's always been one conflict or another. I've popped out to where one of the bigger clubs out here does, field day set up and said hi and whatnot. But that's about it. I operate portable primarily, so I could say every day is field day for me. Not going out to play, but I know it's a lot more than just going out and operating portable. There's that social aspect too, and I know I've missed out. So we'll see. June's already pretty booked up, so I'm not sure how it's going to play out this year.
Although it's a 5-weekend month, so just keep that on your calendar. You might actually be free that weekend.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, so Marvin, you said you obviously do a field day with your club. What's that kind of look like for you?
Obviously the Hampden County Amateur Radio Club is new to me, so I'm not really sure what they got going for field day. I know they're setting some stuff up. They usually, park in a park somewhere. But in the past, that's what we usually set up and had, RVs and tents and, campers and stuff. People come in and do field day. So kind of hoping that we'll do along the same lines this year, but we'll see how the sometimes limited hours that people just, the park will allow you to stay in there or stay overnight, that sort of thing. So I'm not really sure what their full plan is yet. We'll find out more at the June meeting. So, but if not, if I find out that's kind of on the slow side of things, I may be finding a bigger event to go to. So for sure.
Hey, well, go ahead, Paul. You can kind of give your firsthand account. I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased because I'm the a field day coordinator for our club. So anything we do is going to be happening for sure. But
it's going to be big, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I think this will be the 3rd summer field day where I've been a station captain. But yeah, I mean, it's a ton of fun. Each year we learn a little bit something new. But the greatest aspect of field day is putting somebody that's never been on HF behind the mic. Like, such an amazing, rewarding experience. So I'm hoping that we get some new hams to show up this year, and just sit down and have some fun.
Yeah. Get that go-to station going.
Well, I am a proponent. I've been doing field day coordinating for the club for this will be my 5th year, I think now, 4th year. We low key our winter field days, but in the summer field days, we just amp it up. We're very much about like Paul said, getting as many people as we can on the air. We obviously have our stations, and we're running always a 5 Alpha every year, but we've got what we call the Ed Pavilion tent, where we, 2 hours before actual kickoff field day, we do a whole public comes. They get a chance to do a fox hunt. They get, this year they'll probably be building, a couple of their own antennas to take home. We're going to do the tape measure antenna, so they can, build it there and then head out and do a little fox hunting with one of the transmitters we put out in the field. And then we obviously have the go to station, and once that kind of ends, and then we kick off field day and start into it, we just kind of hang out as a club, and we have great food, and we just we spend all weekend there. So we plop down campers and tents, and people just Paul and I on Friday nights will just crack open the beers, have some good steaks, play radio a little bit before Saturday kicks in, and then Saturday night we have a big bonfire, and we all hang around and swap beers and drinks, and we play radio. We're not a contesting station or contesting club at all. We like to get better every year in terms of efficiency and proficiency in all the modes, but we don't care how we stack up against some of the other clubs. We just we're all about the friendships and everything we kind of been talking about, touching upon, and,
Having fun.
Yeah,
that sounds like a great field day.
Mhm.
Yeah, we memories. So you can always go up to our club website, gsara.org, and all of our videos and photos are up there, and get a quick sampling of kind of how we act as a club. It's pretty cool. So, all right, cool. Well, with that, let's do the last drawing. We're over 25 here, and kick this off. Again, this is for the Mad Dog Coil 40. And the winner, Guy Lee, KN6.
Guy Lee.
Awesome.
All right, Guy. Well, as always, following protocol, email me at n1jur.nh@gmail.com, and I will make sure to get that antenna out to you. And we'll be glad to get that to someone who can definitely enjoy it. I know I enjoy it. All right, cool. Well, we are getting at the top of the hour here, so I don't want to cut too much in, because I think Coffee and Ham Radios is kicking off their live stream, and so we'd love it if you guys would head over there and show some love and tell them what we sent you.
Or my channel. I'm doing that live stream now too at 8:00. I didn't realize they had one going.
Well, there you go. Send the love both ways you can. Try to spread it, and I'll make sure I hop over there a little later too as well, and say hello in the chat. And so with that, again, I thank you all for joining in. We had 30 people in tonight. It was great to see everybody. Definitely some new faces and some folks that we have seen many a time. So with that, if you haven't already done it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share my channel as always. And if you haven't, that's my question is what's wrong with you at that point? But outside of that, again, I appreciate all you guys coming to hang out with me. Because talking to myself, we seem really weird on our live stream, and but and as always, like I said, thank you, Paul, for running the show in the background there. Keep my sanity. So, as always,
happy to help.
We'll say 7-3s to everybody, and I guess, like I said, head over to Coffee and Ham Radios and Marvin's channel, and tell them we sent you. So with that, we are out.